What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I hope the new year is treating you guys well so far. So just wanted to give you a little bit of some fitness tips. If one of your resolutions is to get your fitness and nutrition back on track again, here's a couple things that can help you. First off, it doesn't matter what your goal is, if it is to build size and muscle, if it is to lose fat, if it's to try to do both at the same time, then what I would recommend is to get some kind of in-body scan. That is a scan that I actually did not too long ago. Here are some of my results up here, and we can see it does more than just measure weight. It measures weight with muscle and fat and water. So that means if like you drink a bunch of water before you go into the scan, it's not going to give you the best results. And then if you do multiples of these throughout the month, throughout the year, whatever it is, then you can actually see how your progress goes. All of mine looks about the same. This isn't an incredibly accurate body composition measurement. There isn't really a great one without costing like thousands of dollars, but this one I was able to do for free at a local supplement superstore. So I really like getting to do those every once in a while just to see where I'm at. So a really good piece of information that is on these scans is the basal metabolic rate, BMR. And basically what that is the energy that your body uses to basically just stay alive. So it's like if you were to sit on the couch all day watching something like Daredevil, waiting for the next Super X drop, I mean the next season of Daredevil Born Again, then this is going to be you're going to burn calories just sitting there. And if you want some information about the next Daredevil drop for Super X, then you can DM me on Instagram at JKSFitness. What the basal metabolic rate can help with, it can help a lot with getting started on what your fitness goals can look like. So if your goal is to lose weight, lose fat, then you want to eat in a caloric deficit. So it's going to be your approximate BMR, including like some movement exercises, things like that. And so you want to make sure that your calories are going to be lower than that. And so if you are going to be burning more energy than you are eating, then you're going to eventually lose fat over time. And of course, there are always going to be fluctuations. There's going to be different water consumptions, different like sodium levels. Sodium can increase water retention. I'm actually not any kind of certified personal trainer or anything like that. So obviously, if you have concerns, then definitely go to a doctor or someone licensed in all of this. This is just general information because this is something that I care about. Another tip for calorie consumption is also going to be making sure that you limit your alcohol. Now, if you're someone who does drink alcohol quite often, then it's going to be pretty difficult to just stop altogether for the new year. You say, oh, I'm just gonna not drink alcohol for the new year, trying to improve myself that way. But if you go about your year and your weeks thinking, oh, I'm trying not to drink today, I'm trying not to drink today, I'm not going to drink today, I'm not going to drink today, then all you're thinking about is drinking, even though you're saying you're not going to drink, but you are still thinking about drinking. So an example, something that can help, is to just limit how much alcohol you're drinking and eventually get it to zero if that is what your goal is. So a possible example is I'm only going to have 2 drinks per week, and you can keep track of that however you need to, however works for you. And no, this is not going to be something where you drink 0 drinks a week, which means you get 4 the next week. That's not how this works. You only get 2 drinks per week in this hypothetical scenario. Alcohol doesn't really have any kind of health benefit, so it's not really great to have on a regular basis anyway. But there's really nothing wrong with a drink or 2 every once in a while. But even though it doesn't always say it, alcohol still does have some pretty high calories in it. And then you also, any kind of mix-ins with sugars or juices or whatever, then those calories can add up very quickly, especially if you have more than one in a single night. A single night is not going to ruin any kind of progress, just as long as you realize that you can get back on track the next day and not just quit afterwards. Just a little freebie in there. Another thing to keep in mind for fat loss, but really for muscle building as well and bulking, is to prioritize protein. That doesn't necessarily eat more protein, but you need to make sure that your protein is going to be based off of your body weight really your goal body weight. So if you do have a specific weight goal, that should be the grams of protein that you should shoot for, and then figure out how many carbs and fats you need, because those are also going to be very important. Cutting those out altogether is not going to help much. Carbs are going to be really good for energy. Fiber is going to be really good for digestion, which is a carb. And fats are going to be really good for hormone levels, especially the hormones that tell you that you're hungry. So you got to make sure that you keep all of those in check, so that you don't like overdo it and then just freak out and stop. I want you guys to hit your goals this year. The next fitness tip for the new year is to just move. It's always going to be better to do something than to do nothing, especially if your goal is fat loss. The calories used have to be more than the calories consumed. So that means part of that is going to be to move. What this can look like, the easiest form of movement is definitely going to be getting steps in. And so like if you work in a multi-story office building, then taking the stairs is usually going to be better than taking the elevator. I know that taking the stairs cannot be fun, but that is part of the movement. That is part of reaching the goal, is just taking the stairs, moving. But if taking the stairs is a little bit harder, then you can probably split it up. Let's say that you work on the 4th floor of your building, then maybe you can take the elevator to floor 3 and then take the steps to floor 4. And you do that for about a week, maybe 2. And then maybe next time you go up in the elevator to the 2nd floor, and then you walk up the 2 flights of stairs, and you do that for a couple weeks, and you kind of build like that. That is also going to be the same way with trying to build muscle. You have to start off smaller and then grow over time. It's going to be very important to track progress, which is something that I'm really not that great at, and I really want to get better at. So I'm here too with the fitness goals. Exercise in general is just going to be a really great way to maintain your health over time. One thing that can be really good is actually your grip strength. And while grip strength doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to live longer, it can give you a better chance at things like, oh, if you fall down, you can actually grab onto something, or you've built up some wrist strength so that you can actually catch yourself without breaking anything. And so it's going to be really good for your muscles. It's going to be really good for your bones. Help maintain strength over time. And so recently I actually did a really fun little forearm exercise, and I did it to the beat of a fun Skillet song. So that's something that kind of helps to, it kind of makes it fun, but it's also a really good exercise to do. Also, if the gym scares you and you feel like you might be judged there, first of all, it's very understandable, but it's not the case. And also, there are things that you can do at home to build up your confidence before going into the gym. One, making sure that your nutrition is going to be good, just like we were talking about before. And another thing that you can do, and something that I actually did whenever I started working out and getting stronger, was just do push-ups and sit-ups at home. It's something that works, and it did. And I did that for a couple years, and then I went into a weightlifting class, and then I've been lifting pretty much ever since, and it's been great. So it's just the little things that you can do now to help build up for later. And then what do you do with all of this? You keep working out. You keep just keep on going till you can't stop. No, and that brings us to the last tip, and you have to sleep. You have to recover. Sleep is very important. And so one thing that can be really good is to have a bedtime routine. I know it seems kind of childish to set a bedtime of some sort, but it's really good to do that. And then you build up your routine. You can, I don't know, if you shower at night, if you brush your teeth at night, if you have some time and you read a book, then these are all really good things to kind of wind down and make sure that you're going to get the best sleep that you can. You can get some kind of sleep tracker. I don't have any kind of sponsored recommendation for a sleep tracker. I do use an Apple Watch. There are many others out there, and they're nice just to kind of keep an idea of, oh, here's how my heart rate was looking, here's about how my heart rate was looking, here's about how my breathing rate was at night. So setting that routine can help make sure that you're getting a good amount of sleep, good quality sleep. About 6 to 8 hours is usually best. If you're training, you probably want to stay to the 7 or 8 hours as much as you can. And then part of this routine can be things like not looking at a screen an hour or two before bed. Definitely reduce the caffeine. You don't want to just be using an energy drink to wake up and stay energized throughout the day, and then just like, I don't know, maybe even use alcohol to like calm down. Alcohol isn't going to wreck your sleep schedule. Caffeine is going to wreck your sleep schedule. You need to make sure that you let your body wake up naturally and also go to sleep naturally. There are really good supplements that can help with this, and that can be part of a bedtime routine as well. One thing that can really help is magnesium, which, yeah, it can make you sleepy, but then it also can help support in other areas of recovery, especially things like joints. And another extra tip about supplements are fun, they're good, but they're not always necessary. Yes, I do like my energy supplement. I like Glitch Energy, and I do take a protein and a creatine, and I've been using multivitamin recently, which multivitamins are probably really good. Like if you absolutely need to take anything at all, try to take a multivitamin. It just helps with those micros, especially if your diet isn't the best. But hopefully after watching earlier parts of the video, you're going to be able to get things with more protein. Also getting vegetables with micronutrients is really good. But then there's also always going to be some kind of deficiency. It doesn't really matter what kind of diet you follow, whether it's carnivore diet or plant-based diet, whatever. Multivitamin is going to be a really good supplement for that. That's what it's for. But really, a lot of these supplements are just for getting you better results a little bit faster. But if you prioritize the habits first of getting your protein in from like chicken or beans or whatever, it is important just to build up the habits first. Even though, yes, I do enjoy taking supplements, especially things like protein and creatine. Protein is something that is found naturally in the body. Creatine is also something that is found naturally in the body, and so these are things to give just a little bit more of an edge. And I'm not recommending any particular brand, but just it's a nice thing. Like if you haven't met that protein goal of the day, you can just get a little bit extra through your protein supplement. That'll help out a lot. So this was a lot of information, but the point is to just figure out where you are now, and after that you can figure out where you want to be, and you make sure that your nutrition is on track, making sure that you're limiting all the things that you don't necessarily need, and most of that is going to be alcohol, everything in moderation. If I had to just highly recommend that you eliminate something as much as possible, then that would be alcohol. But I also understand that cutting it off altogether can probably do more harm than good. So it can be nice to have a little bit of wiggle room with some of these things that you're trying to eliminate from your diet. Same thing can also go for things like sugars or just sweets in general. But the important thing is to prioritize the protein. And that's going to help with any aspect of a fitness goal, no matter if it is fat loss or muscle build. But with all of this as well, as much as a lot of these goals are based in nutrition, it's also very important to move and exercise, and which usually means taking the stairs, getting those steps in to start off if you need a starting point. And there are many other things that you can do at home to get started if you wanted to do more, if your goals are more focused around being in a gym. And with all of that, be sure that you're not overdoing it, and make sure that you recover. That's going to be very important. Make sure you get adequate sleep, good bedtime routine. That's what I've found works for me a lot. And part of that being reducing screen time close to bed, reducing caffeine, and let your body go to sleep. If you need to supplement something, then there are good things like magnesium to help kind of settle you down, which also just help with recovery in general. So I hope this helps, and if you did like what you see here, then please give me a like and subscribe, and maybe a comment. If there's something that I missed that you think would also be very helpful, then definitely leave that as a comment, and I might highlight it in a future video. I really do want to try to get more videos out this year that will help you with fitness, but then I also will have more reviews from things like SuperX especially. Big changes happening with Glitch, so we'll see what happens there. So I hope you guys have a great new year, and I want you to reach your goals. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.